The world is at a defining moment on matters climate change. Kenya has not been spared. The erratic weather patterns say it all. And as the country fights climate change, which has adversely affected food production and water security at large, there is another pressing issue.
If you are affecting the water, you also need to take part in the decision-making process, as well as be accountable towards those decisions that have been made.
There are issues of leadership, decision-making, rules and regulations about sharing of resources, and so on.
The situation is dire. Rivers that used to flow throughout are now drying up, especially downstream. Integrated Water Resources Management (IWRM) model could just be the answer to this perennial water crisis. But first, let's understand what IWRM is all about.
So this is where you bring in stakeholders to come together and think about the water resources. So be it all the way from where the river starts, all the way to where it ends. You know, all those stakeholders who are within, they should have a seat at the table to talk about issues of water, to make decisions about issues of water, and to implement those decisions.
IWRM also really depends on a cooperative engagement. So there is the integration of the different roles of different partners, cognizant of the fact that this is a resource that is not just available to themselves, but also needs to be there to other users, but also making it available for future generations. So the issue of sustainability also being very important in IWRM.
And talking of the IWRM model, Makueni County is a perfect case study where the model is shaping up. The Center for Social Planning and Administrative Development, CESPAD, has been implementing IWRM in Makueni in collaboration with the Kenya Water and Sanitation Civil Society Network, KEWASNET, since 2012.
One of the things that Makueni really did after the capacity building processes is that they came up with mechanisms and systems where they could, common mwananchi would actually be involved in water decision-making processes, the policy-making processes, the budgeting processes. It's work in progress, but we have seen a change in terms of even how far people used to go getting water. There were issues of conflict, and that is history now in Makueni.
It's good to have the technical input to it, but it is sweeter when it is actually mixed with the realities on the ground through participatory processes where people bring issues right on the table.
It is a county that has taken the brunt of sand harvesting, which gained popularity as a source of quick cash at the expense of Mother Nature before it was regulated. And so, for the IWRM model, the enactment of the Makueni County Sand Conservation and Utilization Act could not have come at a better time.
When we brought in the law, it was not easy to make people understand this sand has to be harvested in a sustainable manner. So we had cartels, which we are carrying this sand during the night. But now, we have tried, and we have come to a level now whereby the communities now know this sand is for their benefit. People have started complying. We are at around 90% compliance with this act.
Makueni residents are now reaping from the benefits of IWRM. The acute water crisis is slowly but surely turning out to be a case of water under the bridge, so to speak.
A while ago, there was no water in this place, and we had to wait for the rains. But things have changed. Water is always there. Again, the water is clean because the sand assists in filtration. We therefore take it like that.
And not just water for household use, the residents have turned into agricultural activities, and needless to say, their efforts are bearing fruit, literally.
Maembe imeleta employment sana kwa wanarika. Juu tunaweza tukipata wateja sasa kutoka mbali, wanakuja, wanachukua wanarika. Tunaandikwa, tunachuna maembe.
The vulnerable, such as women and the youth who are sand scoopers, have benefited immensely from this model.
Kwa upande wa maji, natoa hapa mtoni kwa sampu. Haa maji yamenisaidia sana. Na nikiangalia sana sana ni sababu ya changarawe, maana hiki changarawe unajua kinadumisha maji. Kama pale kuna changarawe nyingi, maji hayawezi kukauka haraka. Ndio sababu tunasaidika sana na maji.
Kila mkulima area hii amepanda matunda na tumetumia maji ya hii mto. Kama haingekuwa inachungwa vizuri, hatungekuwa na hii matunda ya export, na area hii ndio inaongoza kwa export ya matunda.
We mobilized ourselves and formed a group known as Kikuo Water Resource User Association, and from there we started having different trainings on capacity building to our riparian members and other key people who were using this river. And from there we came up with strategies of doing river conservation along the banks, and we came up with other stakeholders who also integrated to our activities, like CESPAD, who came up with a lot of strategy on conservation. They did a lot of capacity building to Kikurwa, and a lot of knowledge was achieved, and the river was well conserved.
And now on to key IWRM lessons that we can pick from Makueni.
Even though it may take a little bit more resources, because actually the controller of budget one time was questioning the amount of funding we are putting in public participation. But it turns out the dividends of that process are more than the money we are putting there. Today, water projects are no longer managed by the county but by the public. That level of ownership by the community themselves takes time, it takes money, but the results are sustainable.
From Makueni County to the foot of Mount Kenya. Welcome to Nanyuki, Laikipia County. Remember, the IWRM model works best when water resources user groups are recognized as the lowest level champions of IWRM, since they are on the ground and understand water management issues in their sub-catchment much better. Goseshe Water Resources User Association stands out, and here's why.
Goseshe Lua started due to conflict which were here, because this river could not flow for 10 kilometers due to upstream users. There were a lot of conflict between the downstream and the upstream. Sometimes the downstream could come and demolish all the intakes. And from there, we decided to have a system where we shall control our river so that the upstream can use the middle stream and the downstream. We sit down together. Like now, I'm the chairman from the community. My secretary and treasurer are from the commercial farms. And those commercial farms are of help to our communities, because most of the project funding, some of the retail funding, they fund the WRUA. We have one good farm like Timafro. They give us $250,000 every month. We came with a system of WRUA support fee, where now we could be able to pay our workers.
From the talk of involving key stakeholders to the practical bit of it, Goseshe is walking the talk.
I'd like to welcome you to Sunpro Grows. We are a flower farm, 15 hectares. So far, it's been going well with the support of our colleagues, the Goseshe Water Resources, who've been very good to us, being able to give us allocation of water. So it would have been very difficult to manage it without the allocation from the spring. We do have meetings with the Ngushishi team every now and then, and we do help each other as a team, especially when we have to maintain the line. Also, we do give an annual fee to Ngushishi Water Resources every year, which helps them also manage the water resources more efficiently.
Ngushishi Water Resources User Association is in no doubt a success story, but most of the water resources users associations in the country are struggling, and this makes IWRM a pipe dream in some areas. Ngushishi is under Mount Kenya Ewaso Water Partnership. Stanley Kirime, the coordinator of Ewaso Water Partnership, shares insights on how to fix this problem.
What we have come up with is a cooperative, a cooperative called Ewaso Merge Users Circle, where people contribute together, they borrow the money, they are able to do the water pans, they are able to do the drips, and we believe this can actually go a very far way in alleviating the problems of water within this region.
From Makueni, Laikipia to Narok County, home to the Mau Forest. IWRM cannot be achieved without involving and considering the needs of the vulnerable. To understand this, you just need to visit CESPAD village. These women are regarded as environmental champions in CESPAD. They used to engage in charcoal burning business, but not anymore.
Ilifika mahali makaa ilifungwa, tukakuwa tunaiba makaa kupeleka usiku. Tunapeleka makaa usiku, tunakuja tunanyang'anywa pesa. Mara mingi tunakuja tunakimbishwa. Hata siku moja niliepuka tu kidogo tu kurepiwa. Sisi tuko kila Jumanne, tunakuja kusaidiana, wale wanakuja wanashona. Sisi tumesema tunataka kupika sasa hizi vitu yenye tunapika kama ni ngumu. Sisi tunaweza fanya hiyo kazi na hata sisi tuwe tunauza tupate kitu kidogo.
These women came to me, they told me, you are a lady and you are a leader and you will listen to us. The government has stopped us from burning charcoal, but they have not given us an alternative. What do we do? So I started going to one village, and then the problem was very intensive. I went to another one, and then I found out 14 villages were engaged in charcoal burning, and the few women I talked to were about 2,000. And I thought, I have to start a journey with these women. We started small with a representative from each village. First of all, we said we were charcoal producers, but we are turning into Maasai women environment conservation champions in Narok.
Tulipoacha kazi ya makaa, tunaona mvua sasa imeanza kurudi.
In their own words, they have turned a new leaf.
Mola, tunakuomba tumerudi kurekebisha yale tuliyotenda.
Creative ideas for survival are key to these women. And in the spirit of empowering and sharpening their skills, the Center for Social Planning and Administrative Development, CESPAD, and Kenya Water and Sanitation Civil Society Network, KEWASNET, had a surprise for them on this particular day.
Kwa hivyo kupitia kwa hii kifaa ambayo tumeweza kuwagabidhi leo, mtaweza kusomesha wengine katika jamii.
Through your effort, we are realizing that the environment is being conserved, and we believe that at the end of the day we are going to have better water towers in Narok County.
Our dream was to have a digital resource center. We didn't know, it was just a dream, and today you surprised us. This one will work.
And the story of agents of change in this region does not end there. A few kilometers from CI Bay, another group of vulnerable women is busy making briquettes.
Saa hii watu wale ambao wako active kabisa ni watu 50, lakini generally tunakuaga akina mama 200 kutoka kwa vijiji mbili. Kazi ya kuchoma makaa kwanza ina hasara kubwa, kwa sababu jambo la kwanza inamaliza misitu na nchi inakuwa wazi.
We started by having our own strategy, and once we had a strategy, we said we can't walk alone. Then we started knocking doors. And one of the doors that we walked in was CESPAD. And CESPAD introduced us to KEWASNet. Linking to donors is a problem, but they touched me because my problem became our problem. With CESPAD, they have taken us through the training on managing water resources.
When you look at the situation of women and girls in Narok County, you discover that they are still falling behind within the traditional sphere of exclusion. And therefore, this then points out why we need to focus on the vulnerable.
And now, on to some key take-home notes. For the integrated water resources management model to function effectively, there has to be strong political will, and an enabling environment is key in order to have policies for water conservation and a solid legislative framework. It is also important to promote general public awareness, stakeholder participation, and transparency of institutions in order to enable the public to take a participatory role in IWRM. And lastly, there has to be heavy financing mechanisms for IWRM model to work effectively.